Emma Stone may have taken home an Oscar for her role in Poor Things, but not everything about the awards ceremony was perfect. Here's why Stone called the show's host Jimmy Kimmel a naughty word after one of his jokes. When Jimmy Kimmel hosted the 2024 Academy Awards on March 10th, his comments about Poor Things drew the ire of Emma Stone. The moment occurred during the montage for the Best Picture nominees, with a comedian quipping that it featured the only scenes from the movie they were allowed to show. This was a reference to Poor Things' controversial sex scenes, and the film's lead star seemed visibly annoyed at the host. After Kimmel made the joke, the camera cut to an unhappy Stone shaking her head and appearing to badmouth the late-night comedian. The camera didn't pick up her words, but it looked like she called him a prick. However, the host's comments didn't sour Stone's overall experience, as she was emotional and elated after winning the Best Actress award later on. Given that Emma Stone has defended the sex scenes in Poor Things, it's understandable why she wasn't a fan of Kimmel's joke. She wasn't in the minority either, as plenty of social media users took to X to criticize Kimmel's performance, including the former president, Donald Trump.
You are a rude, terrible person.
But Trump wasn't the only person who used social media to lambast Kimmel's jokes at this year's Oscars. Some viewers felt that his comments about Poor Things overlooked what the film is really about, and his attempt at humor didn't land the way he probably intended it to. As one X-user explained, it's a movie about a woman who rejects the status quo and fights for equality, with the sex scenes being just one part of the story. Other users were more blunt in criticizing Kimmel, with some wishing he didn't host the ceremony. Another X-user wrote, "I don't blame Emma Stone at all. I think Jimmy Kimmel should be sacrificed in her place." Of course, others on social media found Stone's reaction entertaining, though they seemingly agreed with the sentiment that Kimmel's jokes were questionable. Another X-user commented, "I really enjoyed that shot of Emma Stone being completely over Jimmy Kimmel's shtick." But the comedian's wisecrack about the sex scenes in Poor Things wasn't his only attempt at humor to fall flat. Kimmel's Oscar monologue also featured a cringy joke about Robert Downey Jr. He mentioned that Downey's Best Supporting Actor nomination for Oppenheimer was one of the highest points of the actor's career, a reference to Downey's past drug addictions. Many found the bit in poor taste and criticized Kimmel for dragging it out. In a review of the 2024 Oscars broadcast for The Hollywood Reporter, Daniel Feinberg noted it seemed to go on forever. Meanwhile, IndieWire writer Ben Travers said it would have been more productive to allude to Downey's many successes. Travers added that Kimmel should have known better, while crediting Downey for being a good sport. Another joke that rubbed people the wrong way was Kimmel's comment about Holocaust dramas being rom-coms in Germany. The joke was directed towards Sandra Hüller, who starred in The Zone of Interest, which takes place during the Holocaust. In the Chicago Sun-Times, Richard Roper said it fluttered and fell to the ground awkwardly. Those watching at home agree with the critic. One X-user considered Kimmel's line to be a swing and a miss. People were also upset over Kimmel's jabs at the infamous box office bomb Madame Web. USA Today critic Kelly Lawler said they were half-hearted, while Roper noted that the joke was met with a tepid response. Considering the fate of Madame Web was sealed roughly a month before the Oscar ceremony, poking fun at the flop is a played-out bit.